That's funny. I wasn't. Yeah, I guess you could say it's one of those things. I was backstage on our own thing here for a second. Hey, we got Angie in the mix. Glad to have you. Absolutely. Megan, you probably missed a lot of what I was saying, but I was shouting you out and the fact that you're very happy about the Seahawks winning and whatnot. And I was also speaking about the fact I only saw up until the first half, but I had to comment on the amazing job that the defense was doing because they were shutting shit down in such an impressive way. And mind you, this is my first time watching anything NFL since 2011. That's by choice. So what I saw was just chef's kiss. I was loving that for real.
Thank you, Cleveland. Yeah, the fact that we only had 9 points. Sorry, I'm cleaning up a mess. I just spilt my frozen drink everywhere. Yeah, the fact that we only had 9 nil at the half. I thought it was just going to be, field goal, throw, pass, kick, punch, field goal. Yeah. I finally got 16 hours sleep last night. So yeah, but yeah, everyone's been saying that to us. We had the Super Bowl parade in Seattle yesterday, of course. I really wish I could have been there, but I almost was with the amount of footage and whatnot I got from friends that were there. But yeah, defense. We went from at the beginning of the year, they'll get 3 wins if they're lucky. No, 3 losses. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's almost a week later, and my head's still spinning about how I don't want to say dominant, but how overpowering our defense was.
I just say they were proficient because that's what they was. Oh, and speaking about I was watching when I saw you speak out there, Ty. Hello, and I hope you are having a great evening as well.
Yes, Spork is in the building. All is right in my world.
Now I will say this: I'm not sure after watching the game that means I'm going to start watching again. What it says to me is I was really happy with what I saw, and it seemed to me that football has changed a whole lot in that time. So my perspective is very different to go from so many years ago watching what it was then to now. I mean, some of it is watered down. Like some of the hits that we could do back then, we can't do no more. For the better. I'm not complaining. I'm not really.
Yeah, the kickoff return rule needs to be changed again. I mean, I come from a country where we play rugby, and we have men belting into each other at 20 miles an hour, not with pads and helmets. Literally just almost not bare chested. They wear jerseys, but we don't have the shoulder pads because a guy actually nearly got decapitated by being tackled and having the shoulder pads pulled above his head, and he nearly had his neck snapped, which is why we don't wear them. And we tackle and all of that. I mean, American football tackles, but not nearly as hard as we do. So I come from that mentality that if you wear pads, you're a wuss or a pussy.
No, it's funny you said that. We were playing like back home. Me and my buddy, we used to go and play people like randomly get up a team, a squad, and go play people with some tackle football. So, but this one day we went out to the park and they had a college team that was just done like about to start practicing and whatnot. And they decided to get in, but these fools. All of them had their pads on, their shoulder pads, and the only thing they didn't have was a helmet. I was like, "You assholes, that's messed up." So all we had was just our t-shirts,
t-shirt, shorts, and baseball cap. Yeah, but I come from the perspective of helmets. I don't mind helmets. My brother was nearly killed by a severe concussion. His brain ricocheted in his skull, and we were told if it hit half an inch harder on the side of his skull, he was dead before he hit the ground from a concussion. So I don't mind the helmets, but. Yeah, I mean, even I've been watching the Hawks since the last Super Bowl, so 12 years. Like, I've always followed them, but been watching them closely since 14. And yeah, even in that 12-year period, it's all changed, which isn't bad. But like the kickoff rule, it's change when you don't have to change it. Like, I don't like that. Change for a good reason, i.e., people keep getting hurt. Or like, I don't have a problem with that. But change just because the team that, you know, your team didn't make the Super Bowl, so to make it fairer for them, they've got to change the rules. Just, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't.
So you got me curious with one of the things you was talking on, and that's the helmet. So I can side with something like that and agree that as much as it can be a help, it can seriously be a hindrance or a debilitating
I was gonna say
even at some point. So, but with that being said, would you have something else as a protection for the head, or would you have them like it used to be, like how we do it back home, where you knock noggins? Well, I hope you don't go to the hospital type thing.
Well, helmets can actually do. I've done a neuroscience degree, and part of it was concussion. And sometimes it depends on the type of hit and the velocity you were hit at, because your brain, like in your skull, and the skull was designed so there's not a lot of ricochet and not a lot of room when it swells. Like, my brother had to have a craniotomy, which basically was part of his skull, while his brain was swollen, part of his skull had to be taken out, like cut out and taken out of his body for the swelling. So I don't know. I think it comes about because in rugby, for neck injuries, because we don't have helmets and pads, when you tackle, you put your head down and you sort of tuck in and bring your shoulders up to. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you, but yeah, you're protecting your neck and head. And I think, because, as I said, we don't have the helmets and the pads, that's a good way to do it, particularly for a neck injury, because, you know, high neck injury equals paralysis. But I don't mind helmets, but it depends how hard you've been hit, because your brain will still, you know, like a whiplash type thing, which is what happened with my brother, essentially, like severe whiplash and colliding into things as he fell. But as I said, I mean, I've got helmets signed on, where are we? There. I don't mind them if you're taught. If you just put a helmet on and you tackle recklessly, it's not going to work. You need to know how to tackle, how to protect your head, even though you've got a helmet on, that kind of thing. So just because you got the lid on doesn't mean you're still not going to injure yourself. I think it was Jackson Smith actually ended up with a concussion. Jackson Smith Najigba was off. And that's the other thing, the protocol. I love that you have to go, if you get a head knock, like back in the day when I played hockey, you get knocked in the head, you take a couple of minutes, how many fingers am I holding up, and you're straight back out.
Right.
Whereas now you have to do a whole, I think it's three, well, for rugby, I think it's a 3-part protocol. And if there's anything, even from your name, age, date of birth, address, you get any of that shit wrong, you're out for at least 3 weeks. And I love that as a neuroscientist. But then again, I love the days, you know, someone would get a knock in the head and be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, you know, and run back into positions. So yeah, I'm sort of biased because I'm both a sports lover as I am, and also a scientist, like fascinated with the brain and whatnot. So yeah, I see it both ways.
Yeah, you know, I get that. There's definitely no problem having a bias or any thought on what you choose. I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and speak the truth in any way that you need to. That's all I say.
Yeah, I mean, science isn't foolproof. You know, the helmets they wear now are designed to take impact, and if your helmet's, you know, if your helmet's damaged in any way, you throw it out and you get a new one. Same like I played cricket, and if you got hit in the head playing cricket with a full-faced helmet, and even if it wasn't damaged, because it's taken an impact, you got rid of it and you had to buy a $300 helmet unless you were good enough to get one supplied. I don't have a problem with that. Even with what helmets cost to buy, you know, for you know, an amateur like me, I don't mind it. So Yeah.
Let me go ahead and put this on here. Noe Stitch says, "Hey guys, I'm here just working on the quote for our live. Hello, everyone in chat. I'll be on soon. If you can't figure out who that is,
I was going to say, who is it? And then it's like, oh shit, no, I know. Never mind.
Yes, our glorious host is going to be available with us here momentarily. That will be happening because
listen, we can talk sport and shit without her and then have to behave when she gets here. It works for me, Cleveland.
I mean, you could do that, but I mean,
she's gonna watch her back. She's gonna watch her back. Hello, darling. She's gonna watch her back and go, yeah, about that. No, I kid. I just walks past the background with the laptop and the paper in her hand. So she is actually working.
Absolutely. Well, the thing don't stop with her. It's kind of the same mentality I keep. You know, the job don't stop until the kids are sleeping. Even then, it still goes on. There's still more stuff to do.
My brother had to go and pick my nephew up from school because he punched a teacher in the mouth today, apparently. So, hello, beautiful. So yes, my brother had to take time.
I'm gonna go write our motivational statement. I'll be on here in a bit.
Oh, take your time. We're talking shit. Not about you, Kelly. Not about you, darling. We're talking shit about Cleveland, which is normal when I'm around.
So yeah, we always talk shit about Cleveland. It's always Cleveland's fault.
No, we do not always talk shit about
tonight Cleveland. It's Harley's fault. We'll blame Harley, Dad.
Well, yeah, I think that's a gimme too. 49ers fan, sucks to be him.
Megan, have you been on any of his streams recently? Like, has he gone live at all recently?
He has, but there was a bit of a blow up with a little bit of drama, shall we say, a few weeks ago.
Is that from his last live in regards to Wire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when he had his salty bitch thumbnail.
Yeah. But he goes on, well, before that all blew up. Yes, Angie, as I said, it's a gimme. It's too easy. He was only doing every second week anyway. So I think we're like, he wanted to take some time off, and it was
okay.
The last time he was on, which was when I was in Sydney almost 3 weeks ago, but he's been on panels since. I've seen him on panels, but he hasn't.
Okay. I tried reaching out to him. I haven't heard from him or anything. That's why I'm giving him so much shit of like, fuck Harley, Dad, and like,
I mean,
everything's his fault right now because he ain't here to defend himself and he ain't talking back.
49ers fans, fuck them all. We took it in your backyard, and I don't mean that as a euphemism. I meant we won the Super Bowl in the 49ers stadium. Yeah, but I'll let him know you're looking for him if I see him, Kelly.
Yeah, I'll try to shoot his wife a message or whatever and see if we can get him up on our panel. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
also acknowledge I saw Ty Spork in the comments. Hello, welcome.
Yeah, no, if I see him before you do, I'll let him know you're looking for him and tell him to answer his effing messages. Okay. Yeah, no problem, darling.
Welcome, Angie.
Hello. Sorry, I look like shit. I feel like shit. So here we are.
You are shit. Oh, that sounds good. Gosh, that's what I was starting to
I can't breathe. Can't taste nothing. Been in bed for the last 2 days. Yeah, here we are.
I got up at 11:30 a.m. this morning, and that's the longest I have slept in months. Went to bed 10:30. And just crashed. It's like I don't have to get up early because I'm usually up like at 3:34 a.m. But it's like nobody said, guess what, sunshine, we're sleeping, and I was not complaining. So
yeah, my daughter got a home day because mom's so sick. I slept through all my alarms to get up to take her to school. So
I was just saying, I got a phone call from my brother or a FaceTime from my nephew who was supposed to be at school, and I'm like, what are you doing home? And he said, I punched a teacher in the mouth. He's got ADHD and autism, and I'm like, I beg your pardon? He said, you heard me, I punched the teacher.
That's a challenge. It really is. There's a lot that I'm still learning about it because I didn't realize until my son got into counseling that I was dealing with the same type of stuff. You know, just I had no idea what to call it back then. You know, They didn't know what
Well,
to call it.
there are studies that have shown windy weather. There's two groups of people that really get affected by windy weather. Those with dementia that are older and young people with autism. And my grandfather, God rest his soul, was really affected by it. And my nephew now, who's 6 turning 7, seems to, any windy day, even if it's just like a light breeze, he gets really affected. And because we've had storms all day and you can probably hear the wind in the background, that's what triggered him. And being told that he couldn't play on the slide because he had to go back into the classroom would not have helped. Yeah. So, but it just, yeah, he doesn't usually get violent unless provoked. And I'm wondering if it is the weather. He's pretty good at self-regulation now, but yeah. But yes, so my brother had to take time off work to pick him up and he's now at home.
Oh my goodness. Hey, turn it down.
They got Cheddar Bob in the Heezy, baby.
Bob, CB. I was wondering who that was because I'm looking over your shoulder going, that ain't Kelly. Who's that? It's Cheddar B.
Oh, sorry about that. I had my head down. God dang, my head is doing weird stuff right now. There's some things going on in the news.
Listen, you're going Princess Leia there on your head, Cleveland. The pastries on your head there, Princess Leia. I've always called you Princess, darling, but not for that.
Wait a minute, does that make me Leia? Am I on the level of Leia?
Hey, I just called you Princess 3 times. Whatever you like, darling.
Nah, I wasn't even a prince. I just went from a man to a king, and I'm staying there.
That doesn't math. You went from a man
to a king.
To a king.
The boy thing, where most of what I learned was either on the streets or it's from my dad. My dad was in the military, so how I talk to people, a lot of that and how direct I am, that comes from him.
You're about as direct. You're about as direct as somebody headbutting a wall at speed. What service was your dad in?
Army.
Yeah. Okay. We've got an army and air force right through my family too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful for anything that he learned because he's just like me. He asks questions and whatnot. Don't just like settle for what you're being told.
Yeah, don't accept. Don't always question. Don't accept. Yeah, that's what my grandfather was like. Always question.
Super important.
Yeah, dig deeper. Don't accept face value on me. Yep.
Yeah, and it helped a lot in dealing with people. Even though I was just like most kids, I started to ignore stuff the older I got, thinking that I knew better and whatnot. So I had to do a lot of fucking up before I can finally see myself from the outside and then look and see that my dad was right. And please believe, I let him know before he passed that he was right for everything.
Yeah, when my dad got sick and my brother is a dead spit for my father in all ways. But what I found, because I had the 3.5 weeks with him on life support, I was by his bedside that whole time. I would open my mouth. And when you're a kid, you hear your father or your parents or authority figures speaking. You think, I'm never going to say that when I'm older. I opened my mouth and for 20 minutes straight, I spoke like my father, like the inflection and tone, and was saying shit I swore as a kid I would never say when I got older. And it's like, shit, I open my mouth and my father comes out. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to be like that. And it's like, oh, shit. But when my parents divorced and I was really pushing Dad's buttons, he would always say to me, Jesus Christ, you're being like your mother. And I'd just throw my hands up and, there's the line of good taste. That's me puking over like, oh, you're being like your mother. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop now. But yeah, I often, and my brother would say it all the time. He's like, I'm talking like that, aren't I? And I'm like, kind of, but it's actually really good that you are too. Yeah. My dad is still teaching me so much, almost 10 years or 9 years in March since he died. He's still teaching me so much. Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, well, no, a lot of people who ever seen my dad, they understand why I took on so many of the traits that he has. And one of the things he does have, and it's equal to me, is when something makes him like mad or angry or whatnot, it takes a significant something. So if he's about to act out, it's not something stupid. The problem is once you have that build of energy, it's damn near impossible to bring it down. Like it takes everything, you know?
Yeah, you can't de-escalate. Well, my father and grandfather, God bless them, would explode, like, yell at you or whatever. Like, as you said, reach that point. Then, like, it'd explode for a couple of minutes and then it'd be gone and move on. Not, I just yelled at you for 20 minutes. Let's just stay here and dwell on it. It's like, okay, it happened. And more often than not, like, he had a good enough reason to explode at the time, but he would come back and apologize for it. I'm like, and it's like, I don't do anything where I need to apologize a lot. Like, I will apologize if I'm in the wrong 100%. But it was always interesting when Dad. Sorry.
No. Just I guess there was a delay on my end, so I might have cut you off.
Oh, I was just saying, but like, you knew the apology was like sincere. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so sorry, whatever. Like, it was a sincere apology. But yeah, it's so funny. As I said, my dad's been dead 9 years. The F is that gone 9 years in March, and as I said, and I actually got this today. I don't know if you can.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, my class got that scratch.
Yes.
And and I've got this one too, which I love too. So it's doves. And I don't know if you can see that. It's Finding My Peace. There's saucepans, and I've got a few of them. And then you get these little.
That's beautiful.
And then I don't know if you can see these, Cleveland, but yeah, I got a whole heap of these bands, and sold that one, and that way I can. Oh, hang on, where is it? I can always have my angels with me.
That's awesome. I love the way the design is perfect. It really is.
And then you just have these little cards. I've got about 26 of the different bands for different reasons, and they actually started for mental health. And yeah, they're one of my favorite brands. And yeah, anyway.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's every single thing in life. It's crazy. And I was thinking about that the other day. I think a lot. The Virgo in me kind of forces it sometimes. But I was thinking how every single something so far had some way to circle and link back to mental health, which made it.
Everything does. Yeah.
Right. It is something I didn't think about for a good long time until I finally admitted that I needed some help from my own head. But now my way of thinking is so much differently, like where I'm like, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense. But then it's like, wait, what makes it tick? I'm just that guy. I'll start asking the question.
Well,
to get more.
I mean, my degree that I finished 6 months before my father passed away is in psychology, and I've always been interested in the brain, which is neuroscience, and how it works and why Cleveland is the way he is. Not that I'm sitting here shrinking you or anything, but it's like, what's his experience or her experience or their experience to get them where they are today? And I've always been, excuse me, I just need to wipe my nose for a sec. I've always been one of those people that'll sit on public transport or, at the park and just watch people, not stare at people, but just watch them walk past and think, I wonder what he was doing a couple of hours. Or, being on like a train or public transport when I was commuting used to be brilliant because you'd see someone walk on the train and you wouldn't know where they came from. You wouldn't know what their life was like, but you could instantly tell by demeanor and mood and the expression on their face what was going on. or, you'd hear them on the phone 3 rows back having a heated conversation, and you'd only hear their side of the story. Hey, Beast. But, you only heard their side of the story, but you could kind of piece it together to what, and that's why I did psychology. And yeah, I just love, my grandma used to be well known in my family. She could sit at a bus stop and you'd sit down beside her. And before the bus came to pick you both up, she would know.
Good to see you too, Beast.
She would know you chapter and verse, and she'd only met you 5 minutes before. She'd know who your parents were, where you went to school, who you, and I kind of do that too.
I'm glad to sound the way it seems to me, what I'm gathering from you, and what I think is really important and what's missing in a lot of communities is the importance of family and the strength behind family, why it's so necessary. I sense from you speaking that you embrace that, and I'm grateful to see that, because what I've seen more times than not is a family member is truly in need of something, but bridges may have been burned, trust might have been destroyed, so all of a sudden that person's not seen as family anymore, and to the point where they're really not viewed that way anymore. They're viewed kind of in the horrible sight that most people who are homeless are viewed, just like a fodder, just a vermin or something like that, not worth the time of day in every way. And
I'm very lucky. I'm very, very lucky that even though my parents divorced, and it was nasty, I'm going through paperwork my dad kept. It was a brutal divorce, and my father raised my younger brother and I. I remember there was times where I would hate my mother for leaving, and I would tell Dad that I hate her, and he's like, "No, hang on, hold on. She's still your mother. If anyone's got a right to hate her, it's me." And I don't hate her. I wish her well. And I wish her the best of luck with everything.
Right.
And I could be very bitter, and I could tell her to go to hell and jump off a cliff. Not that he ever did that, but he could have. And he always made sure that when it was my mother's birthday and when it was Christmas and Easter, we'd always send cards to her, and write letters saying, this is what we've been up to and whatnot. And I think that really influenced me, because I hated my mother for 30 years. I'm going to be honest, because she left. But what I didn't know at the time was my dad wanted the divorce, not my mother, as I'd always thought, because she left. So she must have wanted, that was my 9-year-old brain, until my dad, I think I was Dad had always said that when my brother Simon and I were each 21, and there's 4 years difference between him and I, that he'd tell us everything, which he did. But imagine going through from the age of 9 to 21, believing your mother had left and wanted the divorce, to be told that the man who raised you and who you adore and still adore now, even though, as I said, he's been dead almost 9 years, wanted the divorce and instigated the divorce. Now, how is that going to fuck up a person? It didn't mean badly, but it was like, wait a fucking minute. I've spent 29
instigated the divorce?
Yeah, basically said to my mother, I want a divorce, and put the process in motion to have a divorce granted.
Okay.
Is what I mean. Because I thought that was mum. As I said, my mother left. My 9-year-old brother, she must have wanted it. She didn't want us anymore. She left. And she from what Dad said, she said, yeah, fine, whatever. See you in court type of thing. And what really got to my 9-year-old brain is, well, hang on, if you love us, wouldn't you fight for us? And apparently she didn't. So that's sort of where my thinking was. And my dad's like, I bet if I asked you who you think right now wanted the divorce, you'll say your mother. And I said, yeah, absolutely. And he shook his head and said, no, I did. And I was like, excuse me? Wait, what? And I mean, my mother lives in the same, we don't always get along because we're so similar in personality. when she came back to my town to live, she stayed with me for a year.
Yeah.
And everyone that knew us said, "You haven't killed each other yet." And I said, "Trust me, I really wanted to." But, and, she lives up in a retirement home just a little way over here. And, we've been on trips together and whatnot. So it really sort of was like, I just spent 28 years, whatever, hating you.
Mm.
I should have hated Dad, but I couldn't because he was raising us, and so that's completely with my mind, as you can imagine. And here we are now.
What?
I mean, that's all. Listen, you want that full story? I'll happily give it to you on another podcast.
Understood. Hey, I appreciate the broken down version of whatever you wanted to say. It's all gravy with me. So.
I mean, if you ever want to know the full story, I'll happily tell you. But yeah,
well, I'm sure we'll have many more conversations that are going to lead in deeper. There's no question about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. But based. I was a little bit younger than your daughter, but yeah, I mean, and see, with me, Beast, I'm not sure if it's the same with your daughter, is my parents and my grandparents were like, don't tell the kids, they won't understand. You know that mindset a lot of older people had about things like that. Don't tell the kids, they're too young to understand. I knew far more than they gave me credit for. Because they'd think my brother... See, one thing my parents didn't do was fight in front of my brother and I. They were very civil and, calm. But when we went to bed, they'd start screaming at each other. I didn't always fall asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow like they thought I did. So they would think my brother and I were asleep. More often than not, my brother was, because he could sleep with his eyes open, standing up. Me, I had insomnia as a kid, so a little longer. Yeah. So, and the other thing I would say to anyone in a similar situation is don't stay together for the kids, which is what my parents tried to do, because that shit goes pear-shaped. I mean, you have every good intention of trying to fix it for the kids, but don't put that shit on the kids.
Yeah, definitely not. That is a horrible decision, and I don't care what reasoning people give. The moment that you start taking adult issues and putting that in the kids' head, involving them where they don't belong, that is one of the worst things that you could possibly do, and there's no excuse for it.
Because my brother acted out. He was 4 turning 5, so divorce happened 1 week after I turned 9, which was December 1985. Excuse me. My brother was 5 in February 1980. No, that doesn't work. No, my brother was turning 5. Sorry, he was 4 turning 5. I was 9. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to math. And my brother was very close to my mother, where I've always been. Yeah. Well, see, just hold that thought for a minute, Beast. So my brother would act out. My father would always say, because we had alternate custody arrangements. So one holiday would be we'd be in Sydney with my grandparents on my father's side, then the next, and then 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of Christmas would be with my mother's family and whatnot. My brother would always start acting out a couple of weeks before we'd go to my mother's, and everyone knew it. The teachers at school knew it, whatever. My father was being pulled out of work to go to the headmaster's office, and it was horrific. But yeah, I mean, I think that probably would have happened for my parents too, Beast, like 4 hours away. But my father said, because my mother didn't contest custody for my brother and I, my mother actually wanted custody of my brother, who was the baby at the time. But my father said, these kids are going through hell. You will not split these kids up. And he didn't. So.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, basically my mother wanted my brother because he was 4 turning 5. There's no way in hell either would would have coped with that. And I would have stayed with my father quite happily, to be brutally honest, because a daughter's first love is her father, a son's is his mother. Very true, but my father and my grandmother said, no, these children are already going to go through hell. You're not splitting them up. And Mum was like, yeah, fine, whatever, and left. So my dad kept all, this is why you can see my office, I've got piles of crap everywhere. My father kept all the paperwork, and at one point my mother wanted all our toys valued, like, so every toy in our toy chests, knives, forks and spoons valued. I mean, it's just a really bad mess. As I said, I won't speak ill of my father because he's deceased, but I mean, he could have been so bitter, and he was in a lot of ways, but a lot of the trauma I have sort of, you could say, started from that, because it was a week after I turned 9. It was exactly 1 week after, and it's just like, yeah, yeah. So
That's harsh. My goodness. You said it's been 9 years, right?
Since my dad died, yeah. He died on the 26th of March, 2017. So yeah, coming up 9 years. Yeah.
I definitely get that. My own passed there back in 2011, the day before his birthday in November. And so I wasn't there for it, and it was an unfortunate thing. I had already moved across town, across the country to be here in Washington. And so when he was starting to have the complications and then ultimately a massive heart attack, I was not there. I ended up being awakened to that before going to work. And I had so many different questions. And I honestly, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the only thing that I could think to do was the soldier on. So I got my stuff on and went to work. And all I needed to do was to just be left alone at that point, just
yeah, it was funny.
Sorry.
Because my dad passed at 5 a.m. on the 26th of March. And I remember, because I'd been awake pretty much for, I've been joking that I've been up for 4 days straight this week. I'd been surviving on about 20 minutes sleep a night for 3.5 weeks. So my dad was in hospital 3.5 hours away from my town. And so I bring him back on the Wednesday, and I basically sleep straight through. But on the 26th of March, I wake up at 5 a.m., bang on 5 a.m., which is about the time I was usually getting up. But as I sit up and I look over here at my alarm, my Google Nest, it's 5 a.m. And I remember vividly feeling a shiver go down my spine. Like, that old saying, oh, geez, someone's walking over my grave. I just got a shiver down my spine. That's what it was like. And I looked at the clock and I'm thinking, I don't have to be up. I don't have to go and talk to surgeons and whatnot. So I go back to sleep. Like I fall back and go back to sleep. 5 hours later, I wake up to rattling on my security screen door because I'd locked the doors. And it's like being shaken, like someone's trying to break it off the hinge. So I like, what the fuck is going on? So I get out of bed. My brother is at the door going, why are you not picking up your phone? My phone's on silent. I want to fucking sleep. And as soon as I look at him, I'm just like, okay, what time? Because he's standing there like, just been told Dad died. And he said 5 a.m. And I look at him and go, bullshit. And it's like, I've got the Undertaker on the phone. They can fucking tell you. Because what I believed happened was the cold shiver I felt down my spine was Dad's spirit leaving the mortal plane. And it's weird because when my grandmother died, my dad's mother died in the year 2000. And after her funeral, we had the big Requiem Mass Catholic funeral, and she's cremated. 4 days later, I feel a very incessant tap on my foot, like I'm lying in bed in the room she was in, before she went to hospital the last time. And this tap, it's like this, like not a gentle tap. It's like,
Right.
and I thought it was the cat, and the cat was going out the second story window because it's like, oh, fuck off, cat. And I look up, and as plain as I'm looking at you, Cleveland, my grandmother, who was cremated 4 days before, is standing in front of me, tapping me on the foot to wake me up. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. We just barbecued you 4 days ago, Grandma. How's this working? And then again, I had a big piece of my jaw taken out a couple of months after Dad died. And I feel this like on my cheek, and I look up and it's Dad. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? And he did this or this, meaning am I up or down? And I just went, if you're asking me if you're going to heaven or you're going to hell, you're up. Yeah, get the fuck out of my face. You're up. And I spoke to a psychic friend of mine, and she said, you are so blessed that you've seen that 3 times because you are an empath. And I don't necessarily believe that I am, but yeah, she's like 3. You're lucky if you get it once. If you get it twice, you're blessed. And if you get it 3 times, yeah.
Okay, so then the significance behind 4, I'm curious, because there seems to be levels to this thing.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid my mother. Yeah, but it's interesting that it's only on my father's side because my, so in the 6 months since university to my father dying, I also had my grandfather on my mother's side die, an uncle on that side die, friend pass away due to ending his life, all of that. But I've never seen anyone on that side, but it's all been. But then again, now I'm thinking of it, I didn't see my dad's dad, my grandfather, who died in 2005. So it's like, I don't know, because my grandmother raised my brother and I essentially with my dad. So I'm wondering if it was just those 2, even though I'd seen them yeah, I don't know. But I'm sure you're not a horrible father, Beast. In fact, I know you're not.
Yeah, I was just about to highlight that whole situation. You saying, first of all, let me go backwards. You're adding on from, you're saying, well, my ex-wife at the time took both kids to Alabama where I couldn't just go for like 4 hours every week to see them. So there's like 2 years that that she thinks I didn't love her when that's far from the truth.
Oh, but, that's his daughter he's speaking of. Yes.
Right. I didn't highlight the fact there before. Like I did put it up there, but I didn't give it.
Yeah. I was trying to work out who the she was, but I think he's referring to his daughter.
Right. So says, but yeah, to this day, every time she's mad at me, she calls me all kinds of names, including that I'm a horrible father and a lot more. Now, Beast, I'm curious. Does she go telling the kids that you're a horrible father? Like I hope not, but are she saying that to them?
No, I think is it hang on, Beast, to clarify, is it your ex-wife saying that you're a horrible father? I read it as being his 13-year-old daughter saying that he was, ow, ice burning the kidneys, ouch. Is it your wife saying that you're horrible or your daughter, Beast? I'm a little confused. Because the way he's written it, it could be both, but I'm reading it as your daughter saying that you're a horrible father, which I find so untrue. I don't know what you're like as a dad, Beast, but your daughter, there you go, his daughter's saying that. Yeah, not the wife. That's what I thought.
Yikes. I completely misunderstood, but that's just, whoa.
And
wow,
it's
that's
not
far.
that, and Beast, not that I'm putting on the shrink hat here by any stretch. I'm sure if you could have gone to Alabama to see the kids, you would have. It's just 4 hours there and 4 hours back. That's like for a few minutes. I'm sure, knowing Beast as I do, not that well granted, if there was any way he could go to visit his children, he would have done it. Wouldn't you, Beast? Or
says, now the mother says she doesn't tell them that, but my other daughter has told me she does talk bad about me too.
See, this is what I'm saying. It's the wife and mother playing Beast off as being bad, which is, yeah, of course you love your kids. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not that you willfully did not want to go to see the kids. 4 hours, as I said, 4 hours to travel there for a few minutes with them, then to have to travel back. Truck, I don't think
But
it
someone else
could.
to take your devices for a bit. She was straightened out. See, that's a maybe type situation. I'm not saying that this is the situation that Beast will have to deal with, but a lot of times kids have so much exposure to those devices that by the time, and I don't know why it is, so parents got to be a bit lax for some reason. By the time they think to go ahead and take those devices away, there's a big pushback. Sometimes the reaction is oversold. Sometimes it gets physical, or verbally abusive. So it's like, sketchy situation.
Yeah.
I guess it all depends on the dynamic inside the family, really.
And also, this is what I'm saying, that my parents didn't do that much in front of us. And my father, as I said, always would say, she's still your mother. You can hate her all you like, but she's still your mother. You have to respect her. And hey, Viper, and there were times when I would hate them. There were times when I'd hate Dad, I'd hate Mum. The world goes round. That's being a teenager as well. It's like, and the mother getting in the ear of the child saying, oh, he's bad, he doesn't love you, whatever. In Beast's case, no, cut that shit out. As you said, Cleveland, do not put the children in the middle of it. If you're having a beef with your partner, you have the beef as adults. You do not drop the kids in it at all. No.
Right. It's right. It's such a huge detriment. Now, I will say, I was in a situation. A lot of people may or may not know it. Anybody who does know me, it's old news. But both my children were born of two different mothers. There's no why about that that's necessary. The main thing is things didn't go right with both the mothers for whatever reason it did. And in the process, I ended up having custody of both of them and taking care of them on a solo mission, unless I was being with somebody. So the point of me saying all of that, is in the end, they would ask questions about their mom. How come mom's not around? And I wouldn't go into detail with that. I thought that it was a bad idea to do that. With one mother, she had abandoned my daughter at 4 months old, and took her pretty much across country until they finally landed in Ohio. And then it was an unfortunate situation where the mother at the time, for whatever her reason, left my daughter with some total strangers out there in Ohio. And so I had to go over to Ohio and go through the whole process of proving who I was, proving I was a fit father, even though I was next to kin. My name's on the birth certificate and everything. I couldn't do nothing. But long story short, I got custody. My daughter would always ask, well, how come mom's not around? And I would be truthful about it. I would say, I don't honestly know why that is. Just know that mom has a way to make contact with you at any point in time, and that I hope she does so. Now, in the case of my son's mom, she got caught up under the weight of substances and whatnot. And I already know what substances do, so I don't look down on her for the fact. But that was a heavy something, and that was the biggest reason why she wasn't around. So when my son is always asking me, "Where's mom?" Again, I'm being honest, but not giving the details of what, because they don't need to know all of that at that point in time. They do need to have some truth,
They need to know, but at a time that's appropriate. Like I can understand to a point my parents thinking that a 9-year-old and one who had just turned 9 and a 4 turning 5-year-old wouldn't understand. But I think what gets lost, and this is the psychologist that, you can't assume kids are stupid just because of their age. I mean, I'm not a genius by any stretch, but often, and my grandmother would say she knows more than she's letting on.
Mhm.
She's sitting there hearing everything that's being said. I mightn't have been commenting on it because I'm processing it. And I think, like my dad did, he always said he'd tell us. There was nothing being hidden. But he was waiting for us to be 21 when we're considered adults. Now, from 9 to 21's a long fucking time.
Yes.
So maybe it could have been done at 16. I mean, I'm not criticizing that that's how long I had to wait. And he was very, I would say, brutally honest. You know, like that level of honesty. He didn't pull his punches. He didn't hide it. He said, here it is. This is what happened. As I said, I'm the one. He wanted the divorce where I always thought it was mum, as I said. So I kind of understand, but then it leaves from 9 to 21. It left me in limbo with all the questions and no way. You know, if I asked mum, I'd get her side. And if I asked dad, he wouldn't tell me because he was waiting. So it wasn't like, as I said, there was no admission or trying to hide it under the rug.
Yeah.
And I do understand, as a psychologist, mentally what they were trying to do. But I still had questions that I wasn't being like, I didn't know who to ask, how to ask, or why I was actually asking. But I just knew these were things in my head that never got really explained when I was young. And I get maturity levels, but I've been told I was mature, you know, an old soul.
Well, the thing about it, like you're right that there's a time for it. You know, I definitely made that decision based off of what age they were, and knowing what it would have been for me to speak in the way that I really wanted to about them. I had to completely step outside of myself to make sure that I was keeping that separation. Where they're around, and I have them to talk with, but I need to be careful what I'm saying. So here's where that example. Here's where that example actually paid off the way that I was hoping it would. In the case of my daughter, where her mom was always bad talking me and saying this and that about me, and people in the family was doing the same thing. And I wasn't really bothered about that. That didn't matter to me because in the end, I kept on telling my daughter, you just ask me whatever you want to. I haven't lied to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I will answer your questions as honestly as possible. And I did. So after me never, and I mean never, nowhere ever can anybody say that around my kids, anywhere in earshot, that they heard me saying something bad about their moms, no matter what. And I stand by that. They can attest to that if they end up watching this video right now. But in the end, my daughter, I gave her the freedom to have a relationship with her mother if she chose to. Never cut down any communications. I thought it was
with my dad. Absolutely. My dad was the same. He's like, look, you don't have to like her. She is. And that was his mantra. You don't have to like her, but you sure as hell have to respect her as your mother.
And I do. And that's exactly how I put it down with her. So in doing so, she heard what her mom was saying the majority of the time. And unfortunately, she wasn't taking advantage of the gap in time that there was between them spending time with each other. Instead, it was a whole lot of bashing dad. And my daughter heard that and she caught on to it. And it took probably about a little bit over a year of her listening to this. And she came to me and said, you know what, Dad? Now I know why you never really said anything at all about mom at all. And it's because if I was going to have some kind of an opinion about who she was, then I needed to form that opinion myself based off of my experience.
I needed no influence. And that's what my dad did. And my grandma, who was amazing because, you know, she lived 600 miles away from us, but she was pretty much as much as she could. She'd come up and visit and she'd be looking after us. And when we were in Sydney, she'd buy us school shoes and stuff. Like basically like a mother, and to help my father. because my father struggled really badly with the divorce as well. But yeah, that was the thing. It was, I might talk shit about her. She could talk shit about me, and I'm not going to lower myself to that. And he never did. Even when these demands were coming from lawyers, he's like, no, I'll go through the lawyer. Yeah, I could, they're wanting to sort of goad me into saying something that they can use against me. And it's like,
Right.
no, I'm going to take the, to quote the Star Wars phrase from Obi-Wan Kenobi, I have the moral high ground here, Anakin. And it would have been so easy for him to talk shit about her. I'm quite sure if he, and my dad never really shit talked about anyone, unlike me who shit talk about anyone and everyone and, get it back tenfold. He wasn't brought up that way. And I wasn't brought up that way, but I've learned if you're going to talk shit about me, you're going to get it back tenfold, because I've lived in this town for almost 50 years, or 40 years. I had 10 years in Sydney. And there's not too many families I don't have shit on. Or when I say I have shit on, the Gorkrogers don't know about in this town. And I mean, that sounds kind of like, I'm the queen of the town. I'm not, far from it. But my family's been here 100 years. They had one of the largest businesses in town for many of those years, and you hear the Gorkroger name and you instantly know the reputation. Not that I've ever used my reputation or my family name to get ahead, but you asked me, you said you noticed one thing about me is family. Yeah, my motto has always and will always be family first above all else, always. Meaning, come at me by all means. I'll swing back with a baseball bat. You come after my family, they're never going to find your goddamn body, and I'll make sure of it.
There you go. I'm glad that you're that way. Like I said, it was really disappointing to see how very little family is valued on whole. At least that's what I've seen. I guess everybody has their different experiences, but what I've seen, and mainly in Washington, I'm not holding it against you, Washington, but there's some problems that need to be addressed. I don't know how, but just something. And I also get that there's points where a person might not have any understanding because they're not in that situation. By the way, Wandering One, thank you. Hello, how you doing here today? And so I get that it all depends on the family dynamic, and sometimes it's not where somebody might have been as fortunate as myself to have parents who lived till death do us part in the most literal way possible.
My grandparents were 57 years married. I mean, that blows my mind. I'm almost 50, but to have my lifetime plus 7 years as a marriage, unbelievable, But yeah, and I think also a lot of, I was always raised to respect my elders. Like I said to you the other day, if an older person is standing up on a bus, you get up without thinking and offer them the seat. They can refuse the seat and tell you, oh, I'm fine, I'm only getting off in one stop. You hold if someone's coming through on one of those walking frames, you hold the door open. I don't even think to do that. I just will grab a door and, after you, madam or sir, and Mr. and Mrs. I still have teachers from school. I left school 37 years ago that I still call Mr. and Mrs. Even when they tell me to call them by I cannot call them by their first name. That's how I was raised. I see a lot, and maybe I'm the cranky old woman, where I see a lot of that is gone. And it's a disgrace that it's gone.
No, absolutely. And it's a very different dynamic. So I'm glad you're explaining and giving perspective on that, because that's an important thing for people to actually see things from a completely different view, not based off of what you see, you hear, not even based off of what you've experienced or been told, just seeing it from a completely free perspective.
Sorry to cut you off, Cleveland. I just had a flash. So I was in Sydney at the casino. I was staying on the 14th floor, and I held an elevator open because there were two older folks coming with suitcases to get into the elevator. 3 young people thought I was holding the door for them. So they jump in, and I just looked at them and I said, and I pointed to the 2 older folks who were coming in to the elevator with these big like suitcases. They must have been leaving. And I said, would you mind stepping out so these folks can come into the elevator, because they obviously need to get. I got such a mouthful of shit from those young people, and I just turned around and said, I wasn't holding the door open for you. I was for these older folks. Either step out, and I wasn't being confrontational. I said, you guys weren't the ones I was holding the door open for. You've run past them to get in while I was holding the door. Damn nearly knocking the older lady over to get there. Okay, you've got to get downstairs. I have no problem with that. I do too. I'm meeting the DeLorean downstairs. So yeah, I have to get downstairs too. But these folks obviously are leaving with these big bags. So please step out. There'll be an elevator in 5 minutes, I promise you. They did it reluctantly, and the older lady said, oh, that was lovely of you to do that. And I said, look, that's just how I was brought up. And the fact of nearly knocked you over, sorry, that does. And I'm not one of these people that'll do something like that without a reason to do it. The fact they nearly knocked an elderly lady over, the fact they've run right around her to get in ahead of her and her, I guess, husband or traveling partner. No, sorry, that shit does not fly with me. You can step out. And you know, the older lady was like, oh, don't make a fuss. And I said, well, I wasn't. They're the ones making the fuss because I was holding the door for you.
Right.
You know, and they've literally put you on your backside so they can get in. And they're only going to the pool, so it's not like they're in a hurry. Yeah.
Right. You got to wonder what triggers a response like that, because I've had that happen too before. And after a while, it was like, all right, for whatever the reason it is, I get it. You know, you can't really how a person's going to react to what you're doing, even if you have.
Normally, I would have been like, oh, for the love of fuck, get in. But it's like the principle of almost like dropping a shoulder into this person to get into the elevator with no respect for their age or anything. It's just like, oh, don't play with me today. Really? Just don't. But at the same time, I was aware that the whole situation could have escalated and ended up with me being tossed, you know. But it's like, no. You are not who I'm holding this door open for. Sorry.
Right.
Step out. If we've got then I said, look, if we've got room with these suitcases, by all means come in. I'll hold the door for you too. But it's these people were here waiting first. You've rushed past them. And they all got in and it all worked out. But it's like,
yeah.
It just really irked me, you know. Oh, yeah, it's still irking me 3 weeks later thinking about it, you know. But it's like, no. And then they get on their phones, text it, and it's just like, yeah, okay.
It's just a different time. It's just a very, very different time, and unfortunately, a lot of the minds are still jacked in. I know that's a Matrix. People are jacked in.
It's Matrix, but it's also what was it? Timothy Leary said about LSD.
Hold on now.
Hang on, I gotta look that quote up.
Yeah. Do that. Oh, Jimi Hendrix, my goodness, and that got me thinking of all of the other geniuses just like him that had a lot of issues with mental health. It's crazy how everything comes right back around to mental health. So I want y'all to really take a good look at that. And again, that's why we're doing what we do. Mental health. Call me on it. You know, if I'm wrong, but I don't believe I am. Mental health is the most important thing in the world that needs addressing now. That's what I know to be fact.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hang on. I'm just trying to think about. I'm going to mangle the quote if I don't look it up, Cleveland.
It's quite all right. It's all good. By the way, anybody else is in there, feel free and jump up on here. I'm going to slam that there link on the screen for you. Go on ahead and click it if you wish to get up here and have a conversation. Let's do this. Coffee for your head. Take a sip. Get a guzzle if you need to, if you got a big enough mug. But let's get it in the heads and start relaxing.
Oh, I can't find it, but it's drop in, drop out. Something like that. Oh, it's going to bug me until I can think of it. Yeah, but it's plug in, drop out, forget that other people exist. Yeah, it's a Timothy Leary quote, and he was the one for LSD counterculture in the 60s, and it's going to irk me that I can't remember.
Okay, see, that reminds me of what Jim Morrison said. He said, close your eyes, forget your name, forget the world, forget the people. Yeah, so it's similar.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say I'm anti-phones because I've got the new iPhone and I've got all my messages that I need to deal with. So I can't say I'm like totally oblivious being older, but my brother's on his phone. Like, I can go and have lunch with my brother and it'll be like he'll be on his phone and it's like, why am I even here? I'm here to talk to you, have a conversation. I haven't caught up with you for a few weeks. And my mother's the same to a lesser extent, like she'll check email and whatnot, but it's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
But look that's the programming though, and that's where the Matrix reference is like a dead accurate thing. And I go right back to the other something that I link in, and that's that Disney Pixar movie WALL-E. Because
I love WALL-E.
Yes, it's a great movie, and I caught the entire message in that movie.
Yeah. But it's like, and look, Cleveland, I have found that I'm getting very cranky in my old age. But I remember during the pandemic, everyone was worried about how we would all stay connected, how we'd work, all of that. And, I would FaceTime my brother and his family. They literally lived 3 streets over because you couldn't go and visit. And, the babe, Oliver, my nephew, was only a babe. So they'd put FaceTime on and I'd be oohing and ahhing over him on the playmat, But what I found for myself is with the advent of online delivery and shopping online, I just had McDonald's for lunch, but I didn't go to the McDonald's store and get it. I got it delivered by Uber Eats. What I've found, I've always been a very social person, in case you can't tell.
Yes.
But since the pandemic and since I had very severe COVID, I barely go out of my house now. And it's not because I'm afraid to go out or I have, I have phobias of being out. It's just like, it's too much bloody effort to get dressed. I mean, I'm dressed, but, to put on shoes and socks and wander down to get the groceries when I can get them ordered, or to go to McDonald's or KFC. Not that I do
Don't
that.
Don't get too relaxed in here and start stripping now, Megan. That's not okay. We got things to handle over here.
Hang on, let me stand up and show you the shirt. Good Lord, where are my legs going? Too blessed to be stressed, brother.
Nice.
And people say to me, "Oh, we haven't seen you downtown for a while." Work from home. I'll get the food delivered. It's like, and if I am downtown, like shopping or just wandering around for something to do, I come home and sleep because it takes so much out of me now. Thanks, Angie. Yeah, it's Minnie Mouse. I got it in Disneyland when I was in Disneyland. But it's like, I don't like being around people. My brother sent me a meme of Winnie the Pooh, face first in the honey pot. It's too people-y outside. And it really is. It really, really is. It's like, and, I used to think I was very sociable, but since I had my mental collapse after Dad died, it's too much effort. It really takes a lot out of me. I don't mind going to have lunch with my mother and brother. Mm-hmm. That's great. It's great to see them. But right. it's really mentally taxing for me now to do it, which is why I do live streams and stuff, because I can sit at home, I can be in my pajamas or not, at least have some form of clothing, because it's not that kind of show, Cleveland.
Yeah, we're not doing that here. So, but no, I fully get that. So, when it comes to, oh my gosh, when it comes to being relaxed, I'm all about being relaxed and whatnot. I would love to just go around naked if I wanted to. I'm not saying that this is something everybody else should do. All I'm saying is I'm the type of free where I don't even want to wear clothes. So
no, if you are comfortable in your home in a state of undress or minimal dress, if you're not out in public, why can't you? If that relaxes you and calms you, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, if you're showing your peen on YouTube, might have a problem with that.
No, everybody, not just anybody, can see my junk. You know,
I was going to say, can you please let me find my magnifying glass, and I'll be right with you.
I'm not going to comment.
Don't. But, yeah, like to me, being comfortable is throwing on a Seahawks jersey, watching football with my friends, doing the podcasts I get invited onto, which I've been doing for the last few days after the Super Bowl, talking to you and Kelly and the chat, or G2K or Beast or Harley, whoever the fuck it is, playing video games with friends or watching friends play video games, you know. Yeah, I like that with a pair of boxer shorts on, because you're only seeing me from up here, so it doesn't really. I'm not wearing boxer shorts now. I've got a pair of shorts on, but it's like, who's going to judge me because I'm in my home here in Australia, as comfortable as I want to be? If you don't like it, don't watch the stream. Sorry, Cleveland, I'm not wanting to lose you viewers, but it's like, you know, that's comfortable to me.
Well,
you know.
There you go. No, and there's nothing to apologize for, because you're giving perspective, and that's a great perspective to have. Truth be told, that's one of the problems that there is right now, where a person sees something, and I blame the internet first of all, and then the people for surrendering their minds to the internet. But what you have more times than not is somebody is going to go ahead and shoot. Well, sorry, I just lost something.
No, almost said a curse. Almost said a curse.
No. But what you have now is people who it became such a regular thing, and that's why I was against smartphones when I realized just how powerful they was and what they could do. Like in the end, it ended up being mobile laptops. You didn't, except for with a longer battery power, or a PC in your hands, and that made me nervous, because when internet first started with like even before AOL was a thing, like even when we had the email system and whatnot, and people could just send their messages back and forth, and then they started trickling in the fact that you can buy stuff online and you don't have to go to the store anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, right. If I want food, as I said, I ordered McDonald's for lunch today, but I didn't have to leave my house to go and get it, to walk the 2 miles to get it. I could get it on Uber Eats. Or if I want to watch a movie, I don't have to go to the cinema anymore. I couldn't tell you, it's been 3 years since I sat in a cinema to watch a movie, because I have 12 channels for streaming. You know, I have HBO Max for Heated Rivalry. I have Netflix for Bridgerton, you know, like, and other movies, you know. I've got the classic movie channel if I want to watch Jaws or 2001 and Blade Runner and all my other favorite, you know, so I don't even have to go to a cinema anymore. Or
Wandering One says that there's never anything being delivered in that direction, and I really appreciate that. The thing about it is that I was nervous about, and we're here now. It's too late. The fact that people got so much used to the ease of use and access that when they don't have that access, the mind don't process it properly, and some
that's what I
take place in the head. You know.
Oh, I found that quote, Cleveland. It's turn on, tune in, and drop out is the quote from Timothy Leary. I was referring the LSD quote, which applies as much to LSD as it does to these things, as you said. Yeah. That was the quote. Tune in. I knew it was something like that for Timothy Leary about LSD. Yeah, and Wanda, I understand that because I live in a rural town too. So a lot of the times, I deliver because like my Back to the Future skateboard deck there that I had signed, I had to get delivered because I wasn't able to travel 7 hours to go to the store in Tweed Heads to get it. But yes, and that's a wonderful thing you do. You support your local farmers. I've got the community gardens down the end of my street that I used to be involved in. I will go and support them when they're at our local markets every day of the week because it's fresh organic food that I love, and I don't have to pay a bomb for it at the store, But yeah, that I love that, Wanda. Supporting your local farmers, yeah, because without farmers, we're all screwed. Let's be honest.
Oops, I just realized I was muted. Oopsie.
I was watching you do this. It's like, what is this? The sign language channel? No, this is sign language. It's wonderful, but you were doing this, and I could see your face animated, and it's like, slow down. I don't read lips.
No, it's ghetto communication. That's what that was.
Oh, yeah, and Wanda. Yeah, a lot of people around here do. I don't drive, but yes, you have to travel for parts for your livestock and your farms and things. Yeah, as I said, I live in a rural town too, quite a large one now, because we're expanding, which is lovely. But yeah, I understand that because that's what people around my town have to do too. But Cleveland, I need another can of drinks. So talk amongst yourselves, children. I shall return.
All right, we'll be here whenever you get here. Absolutely. I am toasting silently my Coke Zero to you. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, baby. Coke Zero. I will be right back.
Absolutely. See you then. All right, again, I'm going to go ahead and throw down the link because any and all, well, not any and all. Let me be accurate with what I'm saying. Any that can be verified and all who can be verified will be welcome for a conversation. I hope it's just all about keep the peace because that's such a necessary thing. Please believe when you look at the news cycle, there ain't nothing peaceful about it. And so peace ends up being something that you have to create, something that you have to build from the ground up. And that means you got to find that something that brings you peace. It keeps you in a state of peace. For me, it's music and playing around with voices. I was blessed and cursed with a voice to be able to manipulate it and do like different accents and stuff like that. So sometimes I end up having real long conversations with myself with different accents. It can be a little a little something. I don't know what to say about it, but however you get by, right? Okay, Sugar Glider, glad to have you in. Saying, hey, are you guys going to say hi to G2K? Absolutely, we are. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we're going to be winding here fairly soon, but there is going to be a quote that's going to be happening here. Got to have a motivational, inspirational quote of some kind always, and it'll be from the mind of Ms. Kelly. Yes, indeed. We will be sliding over there here momentarily. Absolutely. And thank you for the reminder. I'll just look at the time and see what it was. So, yeah, we definitely support G2K. G2K is a powerhouse of a human being, in my opinion. He is a benevolent man to the fullest, from what I've seen. Doesn't mean he'll take shit, because I don't know too many men who will just take shit. But that also says nothing for the fact that as a man, his character can never be overstated. Y'all need to go ahead and sign up with G2K if you get the opportunity. I wish I had the link so I could throw down to connect to them. But at the moment, I am not adept for that right now. I'm a little inept at the moment. Wandering One says music, air, water, food, plants are all grounding. You know what? I believe that too. Walking out in nature is a great thing. I'm able to do that now. When I was living back home, I couldn't really do something like that because it was just a concrete jungle. So if you saw trees, it was spread out in between like the different houses that were pretty close together. You had a little alleyways you can go in where if you put your elbows out, you're just gonna bang your elbows on the wall of somebody's house. It was different. So, all right. What do I see? Mr. Beast Mode saying, sorry I didn't make it up tonight, but I've been here. Keep doing what y'all doing. Nah, brother, don't worry. You got nothing to apologize for. You came in here at all. You could have not come in here all. And your presence is guaranteed to be felt. And that's a pause for some of y'all young people talking about coming in here. Yeah, I know. Stupid shit like 6, 7.
the numbers.
Anyways,
What the hell does that even mean?
You know
I
what?
know-
I looked it up and I still don't understand what the hell it means. I just know
Someone
it's
said
a slang something that they use for
Yeah,
whatever
someone
reason.
said it's me, and I'm like, no, it's not 6, 7. It's not 6, 7 here. It's 1, 2 for the 12s. Yeah, I was like, well, whatever. Young people. Well, you're younger than me, aren't you, Angie?
But that's what it was.
Okay, well, so I got a version of what it was. I'm not going to be able to remember a single something, but I am going to take the time to get down to this. I heard something about that. Just a little bit of the details. It was vaguely familiar to me, so I'm gonna track that down.
6, 7.
Was it a group? Was it like a band or something like that?
No, it was 2 kids that were at a basketball game, and when the camera come around to them, one of the kids
Yes,
said 6, 7, just like that.
And
Just like that, and it went viral for no reason.
And the internet sucked that up as if it was something good for real.
It was a
But
story
see,
of a
that's what-
basketball game, and it was a high
I
school.
don't even watch basketball anymore since they took the Supersonics out of Seattle. I refuse. But good to know. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Very good to know. I mean, there's a lot of different trends that get spread across the internet that I have questions about, like the crate challenge where they was.
Oh, the crate challenge would have been one surefire way that I'd bust my neck, knees, ribs, various other parts of my body.
Okay, Angie. All right. Yeah, I said young people. I just dated myself. I am 50 years young. I'm not young people though. I'm young in spirit. I still watch Tom and Jerry all the time when I get the chance, or Looney Tunes about it, or Popeye. You know, those
As I keep saying, I'm 50 in December. So, yeah. But I always said I never thought I'd see 50. So, it's a bonus. I'm really, really happy that I got to 50. I probably won't get much past 50, but hey, I'm just aiming for 50. So
hey, I'm glad you made it past your own expectation right there. That's beautiful. It's another win. Boom.
yeah, no, I'll take it because I had so many medical issues.
Well, honestly, I wasn't supposed to make it past 25, and it was because of the path that I was on in my hometown. Like, I was doing some real stupid shit. I was uneducated about a whole lot, especially like parenting and whatnot, and I was at a point of thought where I passed a lot of judgment, whether or not it happened to me or not, and helped to springboard it or not. All I know is it soaked into my mind, and I was doing a lot of dumb shit that led to a lot of dumb consequences. So, and I'm all right to be dumb. I think we're all allowed to be dumb as all hell, because that's the only way we ever going to get smart, when we realize from the outside looking back, well, that was some dumb shit, experience.
Yeah, or what I find myself doing, Cleveland, not so much that, oh, that's dumb shit. It's how the fuck did I survive doing that dumb shit? So...
Oh crap! I was unmuted again.
You're really good. You're really good with the. I will start talking and I'll be doing this, going, I can't hear you, and then oh geez, yeah, that little mute button.
Well, that just says that I'm okay to just screw
Hey,
things
like
up
I
every now and then.
As you've seen me do, I throw my hands around when I talk. I'm going to lose an eye behind glasses with the way you throw your. No judgments. Look, I'm doing it right now. I'm air traffic controller. I'm police officer on point patrol. That's funny. But
Okay, in a month, okay, maybe in a 2-month period, how many times can you say from waving your hands around that you accidentally dinged yourself in the eye or some point in your face?
I've done it sort of really close and not sort of had my glasses go like that. Usually when I wake up in the morning and I go to scratch my face and poke myself in the eye, maybe.
Oh.
But yeah, not usually. Not intentionally anyway, put it that way. But yes, I have been known to poke my eye. And if I'm not awake, sorry, I'm just talking about playing on my phone. I just downloaded a new AI, which I'll play with later. And so that's why I stayed off camera, because I just downloaded it and started playing with it while I was talking to you. How rude.
No, you just be. It don't matter how you be, just be.
But yes, I've knocked my glasses off, furiously. I find I do it when I'm angry at someone. When you're angry and you're raising your voice and your hands start that's when I'll knock my glasses off. Not so much when I'm just talking to somebody, like I'll do this and I'll be gesticulating. But yeah, when I'm really like, or screaming at the football because the Seahawks have made a dumb play or something, that's when the glasses go fly. But hey, they didn't make too many dumb plays, so I didn't have to lose my glasses.
What I saw, they did an exemplary job. I thought that there was an amazing job of what they did, and it showed that they had this hustle that was in them from the beginning to the end. And I believe that's indicative of the season that they had. And so, and again, I started looking back after seeing what they were doing with this first half, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go take a look back. And yeah, they've been killing it this season. I gotta give them the respect they deserve.
And what made it so pleasing for me was the amount of crap I got being told at the beginning of the season. 3 wins if you're lucky, 4 you'd be pushing it. Let's have a look at what we did. We had 3 losses the whole year. We won the 1 seed, the championship, took the division, and this is only with a second-year coach. Mike Mack had 2 years in the head coaching position 3 days before the Super Bowl, or 3 days after. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And what I loved about this year also was it was our 50th anniversary year, and the fact that we had last won the Super Bowl 12 years previously. You can see the 12 over my shoulder there. So there was a lot to love. The only problem with winning the Super Bowl, though, and it's only it's like almost first world problem, is that we now have the 32nd pick in the draft because the Super Bowl winner gets the 32nd, which means I'm going to be up for a day and a half before we even have our first pick. So, because I
don't envy you at all, not at all.
Because we stream the full 3 days, or 4. No, we do 2 so we do 2 days before, 3 days, 2 days. So it's going to be a long week. But yeah, I mean, it was just because we got called the Buzzards. The Seahawks got called the Buzzards, and I'm like, okay, you meant that as an insult, but it actually works because buzzards feed on the deceased.
Circling around and waiting for them to die.
Yeah, we circled around you, around the division and the league, and we went for the kill and we feasted. And the person who called us the buzzard said, I didn't think of it like that. And it's like, clearly you didn't, fool, because you meant it as an insult. And we're wearing it with pride. So, yeah. I mean, this is how stupid some of the Rams fans were they called me transgendered
Mhm.
because I'm a Seahawks fan. Really? Then I get told to go and make them all sandwiches because I'm female. I replied, if you're hungry and waiting for me to make you a sandwich, you're going to starve because the kitchen's that way. Use what you like. Use what you like in the kitchen. But if you're waiting for me to make you a sandwich because I'm female, you're gonna starve, sunshine. And it was just vicious. And it's like, that's it. You got nothing to say about my team. You're going to shit talk me because I'm female. And you're going to expect me to capitulate? You don't know me at all.
It's just like it's just the concept is pretty much the same when it comes to why there's so many different sites that are geared towards men, and where men are painted into a corner where something sexy is pretty much enough to completely derail them. Why? There are many people who do want to see that, need to see that, long to see that, so it's the exact same deal as why is it happening? It's programming. It's programming. You're wanting to see. Somebody wants to see that from you. Somebody wants to get that rise. And majority of the time, a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women will get hung up on something that was said because those guys or whatever are trying to get a rise out of them.
My response to it was, "Wow, that's all you've got to say to me personally." Is a slur like that just because my team beat you in your backyard to take the one seed from you. Like, it's not even like a rational conversation. Like, if you had a problem with me, Cleveland, I would hope that we could have a dialogue to work out the problem, or at least make me aware of vice versa. But the fact you come out swinging on a super chat on a YouTube stream calling me out for being transgendered, and I'm supposed to be insulted by that. The only thing I'm insulted about is your distinct lack of intelligence, that you've taken the low road to get at me, and then you're offended that I'm not responding as you want me to respond, which is, to call you every name. It's like, that's just freaking stupid. Sorry for the guys, but yeah.
I mean, it sounds good to me. If somebody has a problem with your view of it, it's just because they're not seeing it from your perspective. And so I'm not going to say that it's wrong to say something like that.
No, the beautiful thing was when they did it on the super chat, everyone in that chat on that day, whether they were Seahawks fans, Rams fans, Cardinals fans, 49ers fans, didn't matter. They all said, you just paid $50 for that to insult her. She's not responding because, if I had been in a bad mood, I would have put 50 down and said, that's the best you got, princess? Really? But it was, it got really vicious for me personally. And I'm like, wow. The fact I'm living rent free in your head, motherfucker. I just cost you $50 for you to call me transgendered, fool. Who's winning this? And I'm sitting here just going,
that's
whatever. and then, the ultimate was to be able to throw down $300 and say 3 words. I told you.
Exactly.
I super chatted $300 and just said, I effing told you so. And just sat there and everyone was going, you kind of did.
Yeah, let the silence be deafening.
All right.
I got Angie saying here and directing to Kelly saying, Kelly, take your sneezes back. I started sneezing after you did.
Yeah, but my nose, hey, Angie, my nose has been running due to sinuses way before you started sneezing, ladies. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's been a funny year, but yeah, it's been great to be a Seahawks fan. It really, really has been. And
that was Angie saying that. And by the way, it should be noted we're getting to the wind down part here. We're probably going to be sliding over to G2K's site there because I think that's pretty much where everybody is heading their way to as well. We're going to be doing that here soon.
Yeah,
Angie says she heard the sneezing in the background and started sneezing. I would blame her too. She blames me for everything. God dang it.
Yeah, but let's be honest. She doesn't. Bless you, my child. Bless you again. She,
Bam.
hang on. You know what? 3 sneezes in a row. Hang on. You know what 3 sneezes in a row means, don't you?
I don't know.
Think about it. I'll tell you in the private chat.
Okay, yeah. That's fine, sure. Well, all I know is she beat 3 by, I think that was 8 just now.
Oh, it was 12. I counted 12.
Okay, I think that's a bias because you got a 12 behind you. I think that's what's going on here. 13.
27 and a half. Okay, how do you get a half? How do you get a half sneeze? You hold your nose and hope you don't blow your ears out? I don't know.
I know nothing.
Now, Angie, you got me wanting to start sneezing. God.
Y'all leave me out of that. I'm feeling all right right now.
I was going to say I was feeling all right. I mean, a bit stuffy in the head because I've been under a fan all day until Angie's. Oh, God damn you, Angie. Now I need to blow my nose again.
Well, we can't blame Angie because she got the baby inside. We don't want to upset the mama of the baby. No way.
We could upset the mama of the baby, but it's not going to end well for any of us.
No, not at all. I'm too protective for that, my damn self, let alone what Kelly will do. Sneezing fit. Yeah, so both of y'all having sneezing fits. How many did you do, Angie? I'm curious.
Hey, if you beat 20, I want to know how you got the 27 and a half. The half sneeze is what I want to know.
All right, so I do think that this live's probably going to be short tonight because I've been absent for the majority of it. I've had a really rough few days, which leads me to like my motivational statement. I've been very emotional today. I'm processing a lot of things today because I found out that I went to go and get medical help, and I found out that basically they wasted my time and that they can't help me, and that I still have to wait. I advertise mental health because I struggle severely with my own mental health. I've been diagnosed with chronic depression, severe anxiety, CPTSD, and dissociative disorder. So when I say that I hear you and I see you, and that there's nothing that anybody can't talk to me about, been there, done that. I struggled from a very bad childhood. And for viewers who don't know, I suffered every form of abuse: mental, emotional, psychological, sexual, physical, medical, like every form of abuse. And these last few days have been really hard for me because I went in to go and try and talk to get mental health help because I had something very traumatizing take place back in September. And I signed up with help to get into like therapy back in November, and they put me on a wait list until May. Well, I was fine with waiting until it got to a point where I no longer could. And I've now, within like the last few days, I've become very, very hopeless. But Coffee for Your Head allows me to push on for one more day. So if I can save somebody else one more day and bring someone else a smile, it's bringing a smile to my face too. So if I'm going to be transparent, I'm going to be transparent all the way of the fact that like I'm not perfect. I mentally struggle every day. But because of this platform and because of the community that support me and my wonderful co-star Cleveland and everybody that is subscribed and everybody that likes my videos and everybody that comes back to see our videos and to interact on our lives, like it gives me another reason to keep going. And so therefore, I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful that, I start my day with a cup of coffee because when my mind's a mess, coffee makes me feel blessed. It does. I love coffee. I absolutely love coffee, and creating this channel and doing it with one of my best friends and like my biggest support. That's why like when we're apart, like we sit, like we don't light up, but when we're together, like we light up like a damn Christmas tree. Is because we're each other's biggest support system because we both struggle. And like we're both currently struggling. And those are things that people don't know because of how happy we are. Because of how happy we are and how much like we project positive. We're all about power to positivity because positivity is what keeps us moving forward. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be 100% honest. The reason that I'm absent today is because I've been crying nonstop all day. I'm very emotional and I'm struggling. And I mean, I'm here, I'm showing up, but I'm showing up probably towards the end of the live because like
You can only do what you can do. And the fact you're here.
Sometimes it's okay to just be. And I think I just needed that tonight. And I wrote our motivational statement for tonight because it's something that needs to come out. And it's something that needs to be spoke about because I know that a lot of people relate. I know a lot of people will relate to this statement that I wrote, which is also going to catch Cleveland off guard too, because he doesn't even know about it. Normally I fill him in on it too. But I know thousands of people can relate to what I wrote, and I'm getting ready to share it, but I think we're probably going to cut the live really short after the statement, only for the fact that like I think I just need time to like just be and like be around Cleveland and just hang out and like just be okay. And it's okay to not be okay. Like
absolutely. And I am going to drop my email in back chat if you need to. If Cleveland doesn't prove helpful, which I would find hard to believe, but you know, I'm just going to drop that there. And either of you two want to hit me up just for a chat or whatever, it's just in the back chat. So,
well, for anybody that's watching this or for anybody that's going to watch it later, I'm actually, this year is the first year that I'm actually celebrating my birthday. My birthday's on the 28th. My birthday's on the 28th, on my 21st birthday. So like I had a kid, so I didn't really do much on my 21st birthday. Like I didn't get drunk or anything or like go out and party because, you know, mom life, but I chose that and I wanted that. And nothing meant more than seeing my daughter's little feet cross the floor on my 21st birthday. It was the most amazing thing. Beautiful. But also that was when my birthday changed for eternity because on my 21st birthday, right after I took my birthday shot with this person, for the first time that we had talked for years about, you know, I can't wait till you're 21, you know, we'll go to the bar, we'll go have fun. Well, I took my final shot with him because he killed himself on my birthday right after I got off the phone with him. So, so I'm raising money and like putting money aside to have like a birthday bash on like death to my 20s, and that's kind of what my theme is because I want to embrace 30s with colorful and like get away from my 20s because my 20s have fucking sucked. They really have. I've had a really shitty hand since I've turned 20, from homelessness to loss to grief to you know, losing people coming in, using me, throwing me away. Like so I'm making my 30th birthday one for the books because this is the first time that I'm actually caring to actually celebrate my life because I've always celebrated everybody else, and it's my turn to be proud. It's my turn to be proud. It's my turn to enjoy my birthday because my birthday has always been just another day. And
celebrate it.
I'm currently trying to set money aside for everything. So I got a couple short weeks and I'm walking into it with the positive attitude that you know, everything will come together the way that it does. So yeah, I think I am gonna read this motivational statement and we're probably gonna wrap up because I think we're probably gonna watch some TV and just chill and just, you know, drink some coffee for our head. And
have one for me. It's up. It's 4 p.m. here, so I can't drink I'll drink one for you in the morning, sure, but have one for me too, guys.
Oh yeah, I drink coffee like every day because coffee, like I said, coffee makes me feel sane and it makes me feel okay.
No, it does me too. It does me too, Kelly. But the insomnia, doesn't really like it. So I can't drink it after midday. But
coffee and Sunny D are my whole freaking life, man. Like I'm a smoker too, so like when people talk to me about my addictions, I'm addicted to the Ians. I'm addicted to nicotine and caffeine. Like,
I'm addicted to it because it stops me having paralyzing, mind exploding migraine. So,
yeah,
I'd much rather
love
have the caffeine than the migraine. So yeah. And Angie cheers us all with her Sprite.
cheers, my love.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read this statement real quick, and I think we're just gonna end the live.
We'll end it and might see you over at G2's if you come over. I'll let him know.
Yeah, we'll probably pop up on G2Ks, but I think I just need some time to
you take all the time, and you've got my email. Both of you have got my email now. So
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So after this statement, we are gonna go ahead and end the stream just because like this feels taxing and like I don't want to abandon Cleveland because like we're supposed to do this as a team, but like I'm mentally just not with it tonight. But I know Saturday is going to be a lot better. Our live on Saturday, a lot of things are going to come out and it's going to be a very serious panel. So I hope everybody locks in because I know everybody will be talking about this topic because it's time. It's time to call things out. It's time to stop silencing our voices because our voices deserve to be heard. We deserve to rattle cages, and maybe it'll just get people to fucking listen because it's time. It's time. It's time for us to work together. It's time for us to unite instead of being divided. And I'm going to start that on Saturday night when I start calling out people and the negligence that I went through. That live's going to be real and raw. And I'm pretty sure it's going to engage in a lot of communication and people sharing their stories because their stories matter too. And we need to call out people. We do. And it starts with me calling out people and, hopefully giving people the courage to do the same thing, to talk about the same thing that they've gone through. Because I know I'm not alone. With the topic that I'm going to be talking about on Saturday, I know I'm not alone. There's no way in hell that I'm the only one. Especially like within our community too, like the people that you, G2K, Beast, like all of it. I know damn well I'm not alone. I know that. So I hope I severely.
I hope to be there that Sunday my time. If I can be, I will be.
So right now, I start my new job tomorrow. I have
time out. New job? You have not told me this, girlfriend. Quickly.
Yeah, I went in for an interview on Wednesday. And I got the job on the spot. I'm going back to Red Robin, but so I have orientation tomorrow. I don't have my training schedule yet. So the live for Saturday is questionable on the time depending on what happens. It could be earlier in the day. It could be later.
Let me know. I'll do the time conversion, and if
I'll end up posting it on the post tomorrow in regards to.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
I should have more information about my training schedule.
Cool. Yeah.
I really hope everybody tunes in on that night because it's time.
Enough bullshit is enough bullshit, girlfriend.
And bringing us to my statement tonight is kind of a cliffhanger for Saturday for what's going to come Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and read this out. Tonight is for the ones who were labeled before they were listened to, for the ones who were handed prescriptions before they were handed compassion, for the ones who worked too much, just too unheard. Some of you were never broken. You were overwhelmed. You were traumatized. You were surviving things no one ever asked you about. Medication can help, but it's not a substitute for a safe place. It's not a replacement for being seen. It's not a shortcut through pain that was never allowed to speak. Sometimes healing doesn't start with the pill. Sometimes it starts with the conversation, with someone saying, "Tell me what happened," with someone sitting there still long enough to hear your story, long enough to say, "I hear you." If you were misdiagnosed, if you were dismissed, if you were made to feel like a problem instead of a person, this space is for you. Tonight we talk. Tonight we unpack. Tonight we remind each other that we are human beings, not labels. You deserved understanding then, and you still do. And here you are safe. Let's get it out. Stay tuned for Saturday.
Be blessed, all. I'm glad that you came and spent your time with us here.
And take care, everyone.
Take care, Megan. I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We'll be back with our
Alright.
motivational quote in the morning.
I will talk to you soon. Love
All
you
right.
guys.
All
Love
right,
you.
talk to you very soon. All love. Thank you, Angie. Love you and have a great evening. Keep contact with us. We're always here for you, as you should know. All right, we are done here tonight. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for taking a listen, even if you didn't show up to the live. We appreciate your eyes. We appreciate your ears. We appreciate your minds.
And those likes and subscribes. We appreciate all of you. Come one, come all. Stay tuned, you guys.
We got you covered. Let's keep this thing rolling. Coffee for your head, baby.
You matter.